Hi, Pammy.
Hi.
We're coming in early to let everybody know that this is going to be a two-parter.
Oh, it's so good.
Because, man, the story you're about to hear deserves its own episode.
It really did.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So Pam and I are going to pop in after the story is done to give you guys some bridal breaks.
Yeah.
Sound like a plan?
We'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Something borrowed, something blue. Give us all your juicy news, sensational, irrational. It's Wedding Confessionals.
Welcome to another episode of Wedding Confessionals. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Pam.
And the only thing we love more than weddings
is talking about weddings.
Ooh, I can't wait to talk about this wedding.
I know.
Guys, here's what happened. What I want to say a couple months ago, maybe a month ago. How long ago did you do this to me?
What?
Where you said, remember AnnaDee?
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, I remember
yeah.
AnnaDee. And she's like, she's got a crazy wedding story. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah. And I said, tell me nothing.
Yes.
Because I wanted to wait for the show. Because I don't believe in pre-production. Let's just...
I know. We just wing it.
Yeah, it's fine. But since then, we had to kind of delay getting back or whatever.
Yes.
And then it took us a minute to get her scheduled to come on the show. And every time you're like, ooh, I can't wait for you to hear the AnnaDee story. And then invited AnnaDee over to my home. She's here today.
She's
Say
here.
hello.
Hi.
AnnaDee kept trying to sprinkle in little details about her life.
She's trying.
And
She's busting to share her story.
I'm already very excited because I've already heard tiny little sentences that I'm like, ooh, that's juicy. So Pammy, do you want to introduce our guest?
Well, I think you already did. So AnnaDee is a friend who I met working with her. She now owns her own company, Backup Boutique, and I'll let her tell us what Backup Boutique does. But welcome, AnnaDee.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. Backup Boutique. I am a reseller of recordable media, hard drives, LTO, everything for post-production, production, and IT. And we're almost 3 years in business, and it's going well.
So cool.
And not just LA. She can help you out anywhere.
That's true. That's
I love
true.
it.
Yes.
Boss.
She's a
Boss
boss lady.
lady owning her own company. So cool. The way the show works, AnnaDee, and for anyone new listening, is that we have on a guest. That's you today. And we chat about your life, specifically how weddings are in your life, your whole history of weddings. And then afterwards, when we know a lot about you, we go to our listeners submitted anonymous confessionals. We read them and then we try to give advice if necessary. So
Comment, advice.
Yeah.
Have fun with them.
Yes. So now I can't wait to dive in.
Yeah. Brooke is just cutting to the chase today. There is no chit chat. She is forget
No
all of that.
anecdotes.
Nope. We're diving in. Let's go.
No promo, no follows on Instagram, just into the story.
Yes.
I gotta know. It's been too long. I don't want to know no more secrets between us, AnnaDee.
No more.
No more secrets.
It ends today.
So our first question is always, how old were you when you went to your first wedding?
I think that I was a teenager, and it was my cousin Sandy's wedding. And so I was in her wedding, and I sang at her wedding with my high school friend Jonathan. So I think we were still in high school, actually.
What part of the country are you from?
Kind of everywhere, but California since high school
okay.
graduation and college. So.
Okay. What part of California? LA?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. So you're a Cali gal.
I'm
for
a
real.
Cali
SoCal.
gal.
All right, cool. And were you in a lot of weddings? After that point gone?
No, a couple. I was in my own once and then again. And a few friends.
Okay, that's cool.
So you were only in a couple when you got married the first time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you got married the first time?
30 maybe?
Okay.
Yeah.
And big wedding, small
It
wedding?
was big. It was 150 people.
Oh,
Okay.
it's a big wedding.
Yeah. I didn't want a big wedding, but he was a groomzilla, that one. He was. So we had it. It was big.
Were you very involved in that one? Or if you're saying he's a groomzilla, that he made some of the choices?
I wasn't we did it together, I guess, but he had the final say on like food and wedding cake and things like that. Like, I always wanted a chocolate wedding cake, and I didn't have a chocolate wedding cake.
Interesting. So
it was traditional white wedding cake.
And you were an unconventional gal. You want that chocolate.
Yeah.
So I want to move on to the second wedding because it sounds like that's the more exciting one and just the tale in general. What is the name of your husband?
Julio Zaldivar. Julio Luis Zaldivar.
Love it.
I like how that rolls off the tongue.
How did you guys meet?
We met at UCLA. We met in college.
Oh, so you knew him for a long time.
I knew him for a long time. He was my college crush.
When you say crush, means unrequited.
I never told him how I felt. We never discussed it. And now I'm going to date myself.
Okay.
I drove to his house in my 1983 red Honda Civic.
Hot.
I drove to his house in Atwater Village and picked him up, and we went and saw Clueless together in 1995.
Yes.
And the
Just
whole
as friends.
time, yes, and the whole time I was like fantasizing, like maybe we'll reach in the popcorn bucket at the same time, or like willing him to hold my hand, and nothing.
And that movie's about falling in love.
I know. We have it now. We have that movie poster framed in our house just as a thing. And that's the one time I met his mom, and she remembered me from that day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
so he's from LA too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
at that time, though, I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought you said during like the college years, you had boyfriends, and when you were single, he had somebody,
Yes.
and when he was single, you had somebody.
Yes.
So there's some misconnection there at the time.
There was intense unspoken chemistry with us, for sure. And he was in and out of being with his girlfriend from high school, and I was dating whatever jerk I was choosing to date at the time. And I mean, it was unspoken. And there was this one time that we were hanging out with my friend Dave, and there was alcohol involved. And the one time that Julio tried to kiss me, and I turned my head. Oh no! And we never spoke of it. We never spoke of it. I thought, was this because we're drinking? This is my friend. I don't want to. It just freaked me out. This was like my ideal, perfect dream man, like coming in for a kiss, and I turned my head. It freaked me out.
oh my God.
And
You're like, this is not how I want the first kiss to be.
Well, and I also was in like the second week of dating the guy I married the first time.
What? Oh. Wow. So you met him in college too?
No.
Interesting.
No.
At the same time?
No, this didn't happen. No. Okay, wait. So the kiss was after college.
Okay.
The kiss was like, because we were friends, we would connect on and on. So the kiss was probably mid-20s.
Okay. So you met Julio in college.
Yeah.
You stayed friends in each other's lives through 20s and 30s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did he go to your first wedding?
He wasn't invited. I had childhood friends who I hadn't seen. I had a girl that I knew in 4th grade come invited to my wedding who came. Everyone was invited. It was a big wedding. I had everybody there, and I didn't invite him because I would have felt uncomfortable, you know?
Really?
And actually, I probably would have been runaway bride because I knew in that first wedding that it was wrong.
Oh.
I knew it. I was like, this doesn't feel right. And I'm going to go do this anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you get married. Mm-hmm. Do you remain friends with Julio?
Yeah. We did remain friends. And honestly, I avoided him sometimes because it was uncomfortable. You know, I found it frustrating. And I would have these dreams about him regularly, really fun dreams.
Whoa.
But then also just...
I love it. This is when Ruth...
really fun
This
ones.
is when my dog Ruth walks in. She's like, I want to hear this.
Yeah. I want to be in here, ladies.
I had really fun dreams about him, but also just really intense dreams, you know, like I'm trying to get to him and I can't. And usually if I would have these dreams, I'd reach out to him after that. I'd wake up and I'd feel like compelled, like I have to reach out, you know, like, how are you? What's going on? And all of that. So yes, we saw each other, and I found it frustrating because it was not natural to not reach out or touch his hand. Like it was always like,
I'm so stressed out hearing this story. I'm like sweaty.
I
know it ends well. This is the part of the movie where it's like getting stressful. Okay, so you get married when you're 30. Mm-hmm. That relationship ends. How old are you then? Where are we in the timeline?
Well, my divorce was final. Like, I don't know when it was final. When did you know? Do you remember, Pam? We talked about these things.
I know, we did.
Like, I was married for 12 years.
Okay,
there we go.
Okay, roughly
Okay.
12
I was
years.
married for 12 years.
Okay.
And then,
and you had kids during that time?
yeah.
How many kids?
2.
Okay, 2. So you have 2 kids. Your marriage ends. Julio's still around.
He's still around. In fact, when my oldest daughter was 3, he met me at a park over in the valley. And he pushed my 3-year-old in a swing. And I was looking at him and I was just like, I've made such a mistake. I've made a mistake. And I went home and I called my best friend, and she went and hid in her bathroom because it was all scandalous. She was hiding from her parents. She was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm with the wrong guy. I've made a mistake. And she was like, you know, you need to work on your marriage. You know, that you have a child. And I'm like, okay, that's the right thing to do. Fine, I will. And, you know, then we had a second child because I wanted a second child, but we didn't have her the conventional way, in case you're wondering why I was married to this person. That wasn't right for me. Like, well, you had a second kid. No. We have Dr. Buyos to thank for that one, but all this time I was tortured. Julio had closure because I turned my head. He's like, oh, guess I read that wrong.
Yeah,
you know, guess
right.
We're friend zone. And
So he, the whole time during this, once you got married, once you turned the head, all that stuff, Julio in his mind is just thinking, I mean,
yeah,
she's a great gal, but I
yeah.
guess it's not meant to be.
Yeah, one-sided. So he married somebody else. And wow.
Okay.
And that upset me because I
Did you get invited to that wedding?
Oh, you beat me
no
to
one was
it.
there. No, I think they got married on a roof in downtown LA with just a couple people. So
Right.
Okay.
so it was small, and you know, and they dated for like 10 years before they got married. So I have my own theories about that. But and his perspective, you know, on that was, oh, you know, what a different life I would have had I, you know, but it wasn't meant to be. And then
Because he didn't have children with his wife.
yeah. I was really upset when he got married because, you know, I know the kind of person that he is, and he's also grew up in a very traditional Catholic upbringing. And so I knew that even if it was wrong, he was not a guy who was ever going to get divorced. And that, I was like, I had just lost him. There's no possibility. There's nothing. He will get married until death. That's who he is, whatever. So I'm actually very grateful to her for doing the right thing, you know, because for me, I felt like I divorced a person who was not good. She had to leave a great guy. That's not easy to do, but to know that this isn't right for us. We're not compatible. We should have been just friends all along. You know what I mean? So she had to do something really difficult, and I'm incredibly grateful to her for that because he wouldn't have left. It's just, he's not made like that.
So how long did his marriage last?
7 years.
Okay, so you were tortured for 7 years.
Yeah.
Well, the 10 years plus too.
Right.
Yeah. So he was with her for 17 years.
Yeah.
You're
Oh
right.
my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So by the time he is divorced, are you divorced at that point?
I was at the beginning and he was already through it. So we were separated.
Got it.
In fact, when my ex and I got separated, I had one of those dreams that I told you about. Not the fun ones, but the the intense ones. And I had a dream that I was trying to get to Julio, and that it was some like dark apartment or building, and it was by the beach, and I was going down these stairs, and I was trying to get to him, and I could see his things, and I couldn't find him, and I was looking and looking and looking, and I woke up really frustrated, and I messaged him on Facebook, and I just said, hey, just checking in, how are you doing? And he said, I'm fine. I'm just getting used to life alone now. And I was like, huh? What?
When you found out, how big was your smile? Or were you sad for him?
I was like, we should have lunch together.
Immediately.
It's been way too long. And we did.
So you pounced immediately.
Oh, immediately wanted to see I wanted to see him. And I hadn't seen him for a long time. And I was in a really dark, unhappy place for a long time in my marriage. So I was
when you finally had lunch with him, how much time had passed between you not seeing each other?
I probably hadn't seen him in person for, I don't know, probably like 8 years, 9 years, a long time.
Wow.
It was a long time. So we had lunch at, it's not there anymore. Do you guys remember Eclectic Cafe?
Oh, yeah.
That's where we had lunch. We've been here together.
Yes.
We have. Yeah, so we went there and we had lunch together and we had a couple glasses of wine. And, well, let me back it up. When I went there, I could see him sitting at the bar through the window and his hair was like shoulder length. He has this great hair. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, I am in trouble. Oh, he looks really, really good. He's like, wow. And so, yeah, we had lunch together and just kind of talked about what was going on. And at that time, where I told him my situation, he's like, well, it sounds like you guys could work on things. I'm like, it's not going to go like that. It's done. It's just done. Yeah. And then 5 hours went by. 5 hours. No time had passed.
Were you nervous going into that lunch?
Yes.
Or excited? Or both?
Both.
Okay.
I had major butterflies. But, once we started talking, as it always has been, like no time had passed. We've always had a really good connection and it was great. And I had to force myself to leave because I needed to get home to my daughters. And he walked me out to my car. Oh, this is the first time I ever was touchy feely with him.
So you came in
came
in hot.
Okay, and
I don't know if you came into the lunch being like, this is just a friend lunch. We're just reevaluating.
I was like, oh my gosh, are you okay?
Oh, touch the arm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
she's putting out the signals.
Totally. And I'm a hugger. Like I'm a touchy feely person, but he didn't know that about me because I never touched him.
Wow. Was he touchy?
Not with me. Like he just
day?
thought maybe
Oh.
We talked later that he was like, that's different. Okay. And then in the parking lot, when we were saying goodbye, we had this amazing hug. And I told him I loved him, which I tell my friends I love them. Yeah. So I was like, I love you. And he said, I love you too. And it was a really spectacular hug. And I didn't want to let go. And then I said goodbye and went home and, tried to get back to my life. And at that point, then my husband and I legally separated. And Julio was the first person I called. I was like, so you want to show me downtown Los Angeles? Because he had a loft in downtown. My kids are going camping with their dad. You're my friend. I'm choosing to hang out with you. And he was like, great, come on out and we'll show you around. And he did. And he took me all around. We walked everywhere. Then we went back to his house and we were watching. He just had Friends on repeat. We're listening to 80s music. And I just wasn't leaving. And I was like, do you mind if I just hang out a little longer? Because, we had some wine together. He's like, yeah, no problem. But I just wasn't going to go. And it was awkward. And then he kind of reached his arm out and touched me. We sat like that for a little while. And then he said, do you remember the time I tried to kiss you?
This is like a fucking movie. I love this story so much, Pam.
Yeah. And it's the only time we spoke of it. And I said, I do. And that's one of my, I see that as like one of the biggest mistakes of my life that I turned my head.
You told him that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh and he stood up and I was like, are you going to kiss me now?
Julio!
And he did.
Yes.
And it was a great kiss. And it was innocent and sweet. Like we made out all night. All night. And
Like you're in a UCLA dorm room.
Yes. I mean, it was so innocent. It was so, and just the whole night went by, and it was like, 5 a.m. and I was like, oh shoot, I have to be at a soccer game at like 7 a.m. I was so worried I didn't sleep. And, we got in the elevator and he walked me down and he patted my hair down, because I guess that was quite a, and we walked to the car and we were like, wow, I get to touch you now. He's like, I was thinking the same thing. And, so it went from there, and it's been a beautiful ride.
Aww. I just imagine you the next day at that soccer game, sunglasses on,
Big smile.
feeling rough, but yeah, big old smile.
You're on adrenaline at that 7 a.m. soccer game.
Oh my God.
Well, I look back at, Facebook where you scroll back or whatever. I'm like, oh, that was the night after the kissing night. I look so happy. I look tired, but I look really
that's
happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So was it from the jump at that point, like this is a serious relationship?
We definitely wouldn't have seen any other people. And I think that he was slower than me because he was still reeling from getting dumped, right? That is a blow to someone's ego.
Well, you both are going through quite the transition.
Yeah.
That you're just like, is this going to be my rebound or is this real?
For me, I mean, I told him in the very beginning, I said, if either this is going to fizzle out really fast, or you're going to be the great love of my life. It's not going to be anything in between. And for me, I felt like it was going to be that, and I had to wait for him to,
She knew it.
I knew.
I remember our lunches
Yeah.
after she had met or reconnected with Julio. And I mean,
Yeah.
we should have had a video on this one. I mean, I wish you all could see just like the light around AnnaDee and this love that she has with Julio.
She's glowy.
Yes.
And I forgot.
My cheeks are burning from smiling so hard. This story is so great.
I forgot to tell you that everyone I knew who Julio was, just because I would talk about him. My roommate in my 20s, she would bring home guys or whatever, like, oh, so-and-so is a roommate. I'm like, no. What? He's like, what's wrong with this one? And I would always be like, he's no Julio. He's no Julio. That was like my tagline. Everyone knew, like, he's no Julio.
Gold standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I told Julio that, he's like, well, I'm no Julio either. I'm like, but you're the closest I can get, to like this perfect person that I thought he is. And he's pretty close, actually.
So you say all your friends knew Julio. So when you start to tell people that you're dating this guy who you've
happy.
known,
They're happy.
was everyone immediately like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
I know.
So we are now in the world of we are dating each other. This is serious. We are moving on to next chapters of our lives. Are you talking about marriage?
I think at one point we felt like we weren't going to do that again.
Fair.
And I think based on our experiences, we felt like marriage could not even do justice to this relationship that we had. That we'd have to call it something else than marriage, that something that was just beautiful and elevated. And so we started there thinking, why? There's no point. And then over time, we're spending time around the kids and they are getting to know him and getting along well and they love him. And they started to talk about it. My youngest, when's Julio going to be my stepdad, not just my mom's boyfriend, things like that. And I started to think about it and I felt, I do believe in marriage. It's a romantic concept and it doesn't work for a lot of people. But I thought, I knew in my first marriage that it wasn't right. I knew it wasn't. And I wanted to say those words and mean them to the right person. That was important to me. And he eventually got there too, where he was like, yeah, we have a family. We have, these girls that we're now raising together and all of that. So we got there. And then it took a while to get engaged because he was having a ring made.
Did you know he was having a ring made?
No, but we took the girls with us to like a Robbins Brothers or something to just kind of get an idea of what I like.
Oh my God, they must have been so excited.
They were. And it's so sweet because Jenna Lee, my youngest one, she picked out his wedding ring.
Oh,
which is like a black masculine metallic thing. And she was like, I like this one. And it was the one. It looked really good. And that's the one that we picked. And so, yeah, so he was having the ring made. And we were looking at venues and all of this before he proposed. So I think we were only engaged for a few months officially, which was kind of sad because we really liked being engaged. We liked calling each other fiance and all of that. And it was like, you'd think it was like shotgun wedding or something, but it was just.
No,
So-
this was like 20 plus years in the making.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
talk about wait, hold on. This proposal and then wedding, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So we
he's
know there was a
romantic
ring.
guy.
He
So
is.
let's
Sounds-
hear about
He is.
the proposal.
He took me to a restaurant, I think it's called Sunset in Malibu, for my birthday. And so we were just having a birthday dinner together, and he was talking about how much he loves me, which we talk about that a lot. And so I was telling him the same, like I love our relationship. So I just wouldn't shut up, and he kept on talking, and I kept interrupting him with how much I love him and all of that. And he said then he realized that I just wasn't getting it. I just was not getting it, and that he started to just get out of his chair to like get down on a knee, and then I was like, oh.
That shut you up.
And then I just started crying, and and he did ask, will you marry me? And I was like, yeah, of course. I just grabbed him around the neck and was crying. And then I didn't realize until after that there were people filming us, standing around, and everybody started, clapping, and it was awesome. And they came over and, got our email addresses to send us the video, that they had made and all of that. So,
So nice.
yeah. So I didn't realize like people around me knew what was happening before I did, but it was awesome. It was perfect.
So cool.
Yeah, it was perfect. And, when I forgot to mention two things, one of which Julio, when he came to, I had my college graduation party at, do you remember Dimple's Karaoke Bar in
Oh,
Burbank?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we had the my graduation party. And my mom told him that night, you're supposed to be with my daughter. She never told me she said that. He never told me she said that. But after we started dating, she reminded me. She's like, I told him. And I was like, did my mom tell you? He was like, yeah, she did. I'm like, well, why didn't you listen? So that was pretty cool that my mom, she could just see it between us two. And she would ask me, like, what about Julio? And I'm like, oh, we're just friends.
Mama
Mom,
knew.
Mom knows. Yes.
Yeah.
And his mom remembered you from
Yeah.
the date night.
Yeah. When he told his mom that we were dating and that we went to college, she was like, oh, I remember her. So,
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. We were going to talk about the wedding.
Yeah, let's get. So you had a short planning.
Yeah. So
before the wedding.
What year was this?
this year.
You were able to do a quick turnaround wedding post-pandemic?
Well, we did it. So we got married in September. So I guess officially that's last year, right?
Yeah, but still, I feel like everyone post 2020 has been having like a hard time finding venues and like delaying everything.
Yeah.
What witchcraft did you pull?
We literally got it right before all of that, where I'm sure that they were booked.
Oh.
And I think it's maybe a venue that's just not that well known that we just happened upon, because I just saw that there was a castle in Agora Hills, and I was like, how is there a castle? I don't know.
a
I'm
castle in
confused.
Agora Hills?
There's a castle. Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Lobo Castle. And so this woman owns a catering company, and she bought this home, and she had it renovated into a castle, and it's beautiful. And so, and we wanted a small venue, and so we had it in her backyard, and she catered it, and I think we only had like 29 people, 9 of which were children. So it was a small, it was a small wedding that we wanted, and the castle and my handsome prince and
Did
all
you
of
have
that.
a say in the catering?
I did.
Did you get your
I was
chocolate
gonna
cake?
say, what flavor was that cake?
It was chocolate.
Yeah, girl.
It was chocolate. And you saw my wedding cake.
Yes, we need to talk about the wedding cake.
Okay.
It's gorgeous and it's so fun and so them and
The wedding
everything.
cake is beautiful, white, traditional layered wedding cake. On half of it, it's like a peekaboo cake. And when you rotate it around, we had our Spider-Man peek out cake. And our cake topper is Spider-Man hanging upside down from a lamppost kissing.
Oh.
Kissing
bride.
his MJ. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah. So
That's fun.
and I had little Spider-Man little clips with satin that I clipped onto my shoes.
Now, are you into Spider-Man or is it Julio or is it both of
He
you?
is major comic book nerd.
Okay.
So, and Spider-Man has always been his favorite.
Yeah.
So that's where I was like, we have to incorporate both of us into this wedding.
Sure.
And he was like, it has to be chocolate. Like,
He wanted chocolate too?
because he knew that story.
Oh.
He's
I
like,
love that.
what kind of person would let you have chocolate cake? Of course you're going to have chocolate cake, so.
Well, there's also like tears. Like, why couldn't one of them been chocolate? Like,
Yeah.
come
There are
on.
solutions, people.
Yes.
If you are
Yeah.
having this debate while planning your wedding, take our advice.
Red flags. So many red flags. So we had that, and then we had a really amazing Cuban band come and play. We wanted to have that, to honor his parents, and we knew his dad would be super excited to dance around to Cuban music. And I don't know, it was a perfect day. It wasn't totally perfect though, but
Wait, what went wrong?
Yeah.
we had just kind of an eccentric wedding planner who kind of went with a castle. It was their recommendation, and she was just said things that she shouldn't loudly. And just for example, when I was up in the bridal suite waiting, she was supposed to come and get me. So I'm just up there. I'm like, wow, I'm up here a long time.
Right, and you
Everyone's
can't go
down
wandering
there.
around. You're supposed to make a big entrance.
Yeah. I didn't know what to do. And I found out later. Can we say bad words here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've been keeping it pretty clean.
Oh.
Apparently,
Let it rip, girl.
I found out later that she's walking around, and she's kind of eccentric, and she has like half blonde, half blue hair. Like she's an artist. She wants to make documentaries and things like that. She's kind of frantic like that, and she's like, "Where the fuck is the bride? Where the fuck is the bride?" And there's like children around, right? So I found out later, and Julio's standing there listening to this, like, "Where the fuck is the bride? What's going on?" And apparently she had told my mom, "Can you go get AnnaDee?" And my mom didn't hear her or didn't whatever. My mom's just going to sit down, right? So she's like, she finally found me. She was like, "We've been calling you." I'm like, "Well, my mom has my phone because I have nowhere to hold it."
Yeah.
"Well, I told your mom to come get you." I'm like, "She didn't, but should we go now?" So it started
God.
late because no one knew where I was.
My God, and hostile.
Right?
Would it kill the vibe? Also, like, just if any wedding planner is listening, and I hope they all already know this, just fake it till you make it, man. If you can't find the bride, keep a smile on your face and be like, "Just another minute," right?
Right? And maybe think about going to the last place you saw the bride.
Or ask the mom again.
Did you go and
Did you
get
go
her?
get her,
Yeah.
or just walk around?
Communication.
Yeah, so there was that, and then last
wild.
minute she couldn't find anyone to go pick up our rental shuttle to get guests back and forth, so she sent Julio to go get it. And
Wait, what? The
groom to go to Enterprise rental car to rent the shuttle, and he was mad. I was like, "Well, I'm coming with you, and it's okay.
Wow.
Well, it'll be fun if I come with you." And so we went and did that. So that was another thing. But other than those things, it was
So we're not going to recommend her.
right.
The castle, yes.
The castle seems like a great
castle was
venue.
amazing.
Okay, and the catering. Did
The
the,
food
woman
was
The
good.
food was amazing.
was the woman that owned the castle the caterer as well? Like
Yes.
it's a whole bundle.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So you recommend her?
Yeah, because
Okay,
it was
great.
like kitchen to table. It was really good.
Love.
It was so good.
Did she make your cake, or was it another bakery?
No, that was another baker who I found online because I needed to find someone who could do this cake theme.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of that bakery?
Oh,
You can look it up. It's fine.
I do want to look it up because
give her a shout
because
out.
she's awesome. She was on one of the baking competition shows.
Oh,
one of the
fun.
reality baking shows.
We'll make sure to put the picture of the cake somewhere on Instagram.
It's a video because you can see it spinning. So you see
Yeah.
one
Oh,
and then you see it
fun.
spin.
All right.
And
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
I
I
can't
love it.
find her right now, but we can shout her out later, right? If I find her.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Can we talk about your dress? What did you wear?
Yes. I wore a dress that I still have dress number 1 hanging in my closet, which I didn't even really like the dress. I didn't even really care. I remember my friend at the time went with me, and she was like, "Oh, this is pretty." I'm like, "All right." It went like that.
Oh.
And then
all the red flags.
yeah,
AnnaDee.
I know so many, so many.
But
And
this
then-
is the journey you had to go to get to Julio.
Yes, I needed to grow up a bit and figure some things out. But my dress, when I went to try on dresses, I was dreading it, pandemic pounds and all of that. And you see a dress in a picture and you're like, it's so pretty, but no, it's not pretty on you. It's just pretty on that model. So I tried on, a lot of different dresses, and any style I thought was going to be for me just wasn't. And then the woman was so sweet and patient, and I'm like crying. I'm like, it's just awful. I can't fit anything. She's like, how about this? And she put the clips on it. I was like, oh, I was just in the wrong style. Okay. So it was more, it kind of felt like old Hollywood glam, kind of, like mermaid, like fitted and going out at the bottom, and it was ivory and had lace overlay, and it was really pretty. It didn't fit exactly how I wanted, because the alterations woman said I wouldn't be able to sit down.
Oh yeah.
If they made it too
tight.
Yeah. Since they don't, so that was a bit of a bummer, but I loved my dress. I loved it, and I didn't love my first dress, so it was nice to be like, you know what, I absolutely love this dress. And my daughters were my bridesmaids.
Aww.
Yeah, I had two
Nice.
bridesmaids, and we got their dresses from Macy's in the prom section, and they were these beautiful, princess-looking gowns, and then Julio's dad was his best man.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, and so it was only his dad standing up, and then my little girls, and it was awesome. And this is gonna sound mean. I guess I'm mean. Okay, so my first marriage, like when I saw him in a tuxedo, he just looked really silly. He looked like a little kid going to church or something. You know what I mean? Just more red flags. So we just didn't have that spark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I saw Julio in a tuxedo, I was like, I just took my breath away. I just have never seen a more beautiful man in my life. And I was like, and he likes me. Yeah. He likes me. So he looked incredibly handsome. And my mom was just glowing. She was so happy. And I forgot to mention earlier, when I called my mom when I got engaged the first time, she had such an odd reaction. And I thought, what's wrong with her? I told her we got engaged, and she was like, oh, I hung up feeling just like mad at her, like, what's wrong with her? Why can't she have an appropriate response or just fake it? And she didn't know why she was feeling that way. She thought maybe it's because I feel like I'm losing my daughter or something. Mm-hmm. And she reflects back now, and she's because she knew it was wrong. She didn't. And so when Julio and I got engaged, she was absolutely elated, like, I told you so. And I was right.
Aww.
And so in the beginning, when the pastor was saying, who presents AnnaDee, and my mom was just crying. She's like, I do with all my heart, and tears are streaming down her face. And
I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah.
This is so sweet.
Yeah.
In
it
a
was
castle?
beautiful. In a castle.
Fuck
Yes.
AnnaDee, the story rules.
I know. I know. It was awesome.
Okay, Pam has found the video of the cake. That is very cool. What is the name of the cake vendor, Pammy?
Kaye's Cake Designs.
Okay, we're gonna link that,
And it's
we're
amazing.
gonna get this video.
That video is
Oh, and you see that cute little cake down there?
Yeah.
That's because my friend Steve has allergies. So she made his own little mini cake.
Stop.
That's so nice.
Thank you for your research, Pam.
I don't know the band.
You can't magically
no.
figure out the band.
Sorry.
Well, Julio, she's texted Julio about the band.
Okay.
So hopefully we will know. I mean, let's just say this. If he doesn't get back with us with a band name, all of my positive thoughts for Julio out the window. So after the wedding, did you guys go on a honeymoon anywhere?
No.
You've got kids, and it's like,
It's so COVID-esque.
Yeah, I know. It's what I mean.
Well, we didn't because when we got home, we were sitting in our backyard, and it was the first time we were sitting in our backyard because it had been too hot and there were mosquitoes everywhere. So it was the first night it was like cool. I'm like, oh, there's not going to be mosquitoes. Let's go outside. And we were sitting in our chairs, drinking wine, looking at the house. We're like, oh, we're just so in love and we're married and we love our home. And then Julio was like, oh shit, the roof is on fire. Yeah.
Wait, when was this?
Right after the wedding.
The next day?
Yes.
What?
Oh my
Yes.
God.
What? The roof was on fire of your actual home that you're living in.
This
Yes.
wasn't like a rap that he
an-
was doing.
It was no. It was an electrical fire in our bathroom, and the back of the house is all windows, so we were there in that moment to see that. Called the fire department, and they got there right away and put it out. But then we were Airbnb hopping for 2 months.
Oh my God.
We thought we'd be out 2 weeks. It took 2 months, so we had like just a little hamper of clothes and at that point, we just desperately wanted to get back to our own bed. And it took 2 months.
Oh my
and I'm like, I
God.
knew we had a great relationship. I did not need to be tested in this way.
So early
You know?
on. Yeah.
To know that we can go through something and work as a team and handle things well and all of that. We're like, thank you. We already knew. Fine.
Yeah.
It's confirmed again. And then when we got home, I told him, I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere ever again. I love my bed and I
Yeah.
love my things. And, so, but yes, we do want to go on a honeymoon.
At some point. Yeah.
At
Okay.
some point. At some point.
Do you have any
So-
idea where, or is it still kind of up in the air?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Mexico?
Okay.
I need to go somewhere where the time zone is reasonable.
Okay.
So that
You
I
don't
can
like
still-
jet lag?
No, I
Work.
have a company.
Boss ass bitch.
Boss lady still has to work,
Keep
you know.
that job going. I love it. It's a fantastic answer. Run my own company.
So one of our favorite questions is, what is the best part of the whole wedding experience? Or like, let's just call all of it, from, meeting him and knowing him, because it's such a long journey. And then the worst. I think we might have already heard the worst with
When I was kind of being hidden outside of the castle walls, waiting to go in, when they opened those doors and I saw the way he looked at me, and then I'm going to cry.
Oh.
I saw the way he looked at me, and I've never been looked at like that before. And to finally, to have gone through so much, to finally get to this place where I was supposed to be all along, to feel like I finally arrived. I'm finally home is what it felt like. That was the best, that was the best.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
a fantastic answer.
I know.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I love Julio too.
So
Yeah.
I know.
I know.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, he really is.
Oh,
He is.
that's a good answer. I don't even
Yeah.
need a worse. Fuck that.
The worst was probably like, where the fuck is the bride?
Where's the fuck is the
Let's
bride?
be real. That's
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Oh, this was the worst too. So, the wedding didn't go that long because when the band stopped, people were like, whatever. And that was okay, because then we're like, oh, I get more time with you now. So we're sitting poolside by candles, and enter wedding planner again to talk to us about her documentary and to want to show us her sizzle reel. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh,
What are you doing?
go
No,
away.
she didn't.
Go away. She wouldn't go away. We were like, okay, we're tired. And another cool thing about this castle is there's a castle tower. And so you can rent that. And so we stayed there. So we were just staying in the castle tower. It's like an Airbnb. You can go stay there. You can go stay there anytime.
God,
Oh my
Pam.
gosh.
We gotta go there.
So
Girls
yeah.
trip.
And
staying in the castle.
And the castle tower, it reminded me of like Rapunzel's tower. Like it's just a really cool building.
This is so cool.
That's honestly what I imagined when you were just like sitting there waiting, and you were just like Rapunzel up in the tower.
Yeah.
Nobody was coming to get you.
Yeah, that is kind of how it felt.
Aw.
And I would say also, best and worst would be that wedding number one. I didn't want to leave the reception. I had all of these people there who I hadn't seen, right? All these friends since fourth
Right.
grade. I want to catch up with these people.
Yeah.
And when it was time to go, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. I was sad. when people left our wedding number 2, I was like, woohoo, let's go to the tower. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't wait to be alone with him. I couldn't wait, And so that was a nice feeling to feel like I don't care that everyone's leaving, Let's help them. Let's go, everybody, so that we can be alone. And that was definitely, noteworthy for me. So
I know.
I love this story. I love love. I love
love.
castles.
I love chocolate cake.
I do love a chocolate cake.
I'm good with chocolate cake.
I like Spider-Man. This is great.
I know.
Pammy, thank you for this.
He had
here.
I got him wedding night, Spider-Man cufflinks, like these little silver. So we had these little details,
Cute.
He designed our wedding invitation, which Spider-Man.
Yes. So cute.
Nice. This is fun.
Yep.
I like all of this. This wedding is fun as hell.
The band. Oh, SitaraSon.
What is it?
SitaraSon.
Okay.
SitaraSon. SitaraSon. Yeah.
We'll give them a shout
Shout
out.
out.
Yeah.
'Cause they were
they're
great
really
band.
good. Really good.
We will not shout out that wedding planner. She sounds like a disaster. And you know, we're
Wow.
not even going to pitch her documentary. Forget it.
That's so LA.
That is the
I
most
just, like,
LA thing I've
rolled
ever
my
heard.
eyes.
That
Yes.
You're literally ending your wedding by somebody pitching to you. It's like, Jesus.
And did I try to sell her hard drives in that moment? No, I did not, because it's my
have.
wedding day.
You should have.
I should.
Amazing. And we're back. Hi, Pammy.
Hi.
How do you feel after hearing that story, girl?
Oh my! I feel in love with love. Like, it's so fun.
Question. When you learned all about this from AnnaDee, because you guys are buddies, did you hear about it like in a restaurant, like in public?
Yes.
Were you like screaming at your table? Because I was freaking out.
Well, okay, so I didn't hear it all at once like you did. I've been we've been friends for years, so I've been going through this
The slow
process.
burn.
Yes.
Wow.
With her. Yeah.
Wow. It was quite a roller coaster for me in an hour.
It was. It was.
I just can't imagine like in a restaurant hearing like, and now I'm dating Julio. I'd have been like, yes.
Oh my gosh. No, I mean, divorce is so difficult.
Yes.
And to see just the excitement the first time she told me about Julio, and I was like, oh my gosh, who is this person? You know, and who put a smile on her face. And yeah, it's been awesome.
It's like she rose from the ashes.
She did.
It's amazing. Ugh, so fun. So we are here to talk about some bridal breaks.
Heck yeah.
Bridal breaks, for any of our new listeners, are suggestions we give not only to brides or grooms, but anyone helping to plan a wedding, of things to do that have nothing to do with wedding planning, so you can enjoy your life, have some fun, and remember that you're human, so that you do not murder your wedding party.
Yes. On that note.
Pam also agrees with me. No murder.
No murder, please.
Pam usually gives a cocktail. I usually do some pop culture stuff. Pammy, do you have a drink today?
I do.
Ooh, let's hear it.
I feel like, March is all about St. Patty's Day for me.
Yeah.
So I found this cocktail on aworthyread.com, and it's called an Irish Maid. And I mean, it's Irish whiskey, of course. And it's got cucumber, elderflower liqueur, lemon juice, a honey simple syrup, and that's it. But it just sounds really not too sweet.
Yeah. Perfect for the spring.
Perfect for the spring.
Yeah.
Perfect
the cucumber.
if, you're not into all of the other Irish sweeter drinks or beer or, I always do green beer. I love green beer.
Do you?
I do.
Okay, cool.
But this one is called the Irish Maid, so check that one out.
I love it. I will do 2 because it's me, but
you're
also because we don't, there's only 2 people doing this right now.
You're
I'd like
right.
to give a 3. It's a nice, happy little number.
That's good.
The first one is a newer thing that just came out, I would say about a month ago. And I've been seeing stuff about it for quite a while, and I've been very excited.
Mm-hmm.
And I was super pumped to watch the premiere. And then it kind of sucked. But
Oh, no.
it got very good later. So
Oh.
preface this for this.
Okay.
So it is the HBO series Gilded Age, which is okay, Downton Abbey. All you
Yes.
Downton Abbey fans out there.
Right.
Julian Fellows, the
Yes.
creator of Downton Abbey, created this show called Gilded Age. It is set in New York City in post-Civil War era New York City.
Okay.
So New York City is dirt roads. It is some brownstones. Everyone's horse and carriage. Everyone's in these like pretty little dresses. It's costume drama to
Love
the
it.
max. To the max, but it's Americans. So that's kind of fun because,
Okay.
everything else he's done has been very British.
British.
Whereas this is, and it's dealing with like tackling that old school, like at that point, established, rich Manhattan American. This is all old money. We are from, freaking people coming over on the Mayflower.
Aristocratic.
Right.
Yes.
And it was very about like your bloodline and your last name and who you came from. And then because it's America, man, this is how we work. People move on up. They create businesses. They become millionaires or whatever. They become these rich, powerful people.
New money.
New money. So it's a clash of old money and new money coming up in New York City. This is the problem with the pilot. It is 2 hours long. It's 2 episodes. So you're watching it, you're just like, and it is a lot of establishing characters, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay. And I remember afterwards, I was like, do I keep watching this? And the next episode showed up. I was like, okay, it's only an hour. Doing some laundry, I'll watch it. And I was like, ooh, I'm more into it. I'm
Okay.
more invested. And then the third episode, it ends, and it's like the ending. You're like, oh, I am in this show. So give it to
Okay.
episode 3, and then you can decide if you want to bounce. But I think if you're a Downton Abbey person, it'll scratch that itch. Also, they literally have something that we didn't see a lot of on Downton Abbey, which is Black characters. We're actually getting some diversity, and not just like a token, like a person and like a family. And we're dealing with we're seeing like a point of view, and we're talking about racism, and we're really talking about it in the real world way that it was then.
Great.
Yes. So it's very interesting. And also it is full of really awesome actors that are like big names, a lot of new people, but also like big names like Christine Baranski, who I love.
She's great.
Right. And a lot of these people, because again, they're doing a lot of like New York-y stuff, a lot of Broadway people. Audra McDonald.
Love her.
Love her. I think she doesn't show up to the second episode, but she's in it. Cynthia Nixon
Nice.
is in it. She makes a choice with the voice that is interesting. And even if you don't like it, you will be entertained.
Okay. Now I have to see it
Yeah.
just for that.
And Jeanne Triplehorn is also in it, and she
yeah.
plays a very interesting character. So like I said, I feel like the first part you're just kind of learning what's happening, and you kind of need it to like set up the people. But by the time you get to episode 3, 4 and on, you're really in the world. The pacing's good, and it's again beautifully shot, these amazing ballrooms and these like cool, it's really cool. And they talk about politics, they talk about racism, they talk about money. And it's like you kind of see the background of other things that kind of you don't think about, but actually were created at that time. And they talk about, I don't want to give too much away, but it's really interesting.
All right.
So yeah, Gilded Age on HBO/HBO Max.
All right. I'm in.
The second thing I thought of when you're talking about St. Patrick's Day,
Yes.
and I think about, and you mentioned green beer,
Yes.
and I immediately thought about the best St. Patrick's Day movie, which is the 1993 movie, The Fugitive.
Oh, totally.
Set in
Chicago,
Chicago
where
during
they-
St. Patrick's
Yes.
Day. I realize that it's one of those things where I grew up watching that movie, and I know a lot of our listeners are younger, and I don't know if they know it as well. I recently saw it about a year ago. It holds up.
Does
It's a
it?
fantastic movie. It is a thriller, and it's also a fun like stay in and watch a movie like with your significant other, because I feel like everyone would like this movie. It's like a murder mystery.
It is, yeah.
It's not gory, but it's intense, but it's like smart but not too snooty smart, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And everyone's a great actor. Harrison
Yes.
Ford is in it. He's still handsome as hell. Who's the other one?
Oh, Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones is in
Yeah.
it. He's fantastic.
He's fantastic in it.
Yes. So, and again, St. Patrick's Day is like the backdrop for it.
Yep.
So when I think of St. Patrick's Day, I always think
That's
of The Fugitive.
hilarious.
It's a holiday movie. Anyway, so when we were thinking about this, I looked it up. It's not technically for free streaming anywhere, but you can rent an HD streaming of it on Amazon Prime for $1.50.
Do it.
Right. We highly recommend it. It's a great movie. It's really fun, satisfying ending, good acting, and it's St. Patrick's Day.
It's a good ride.
So yeah, it's a good movie. It's St. Patrick's Day is coming up. I highly suggest it. So newer TV show and a very old movie.
Perfect.
Hammy,
Yes.
you look so happy. I'm about to change that mood by grabbing my clipboard.
Wah, wah.
This is the part of the podcast where we tell you, our listeners, all the wonderful ways that you can find us, the podcast. Pammy, we have a website. A lot of good things on it. What is the website web address?
WeddingConfessionals.com.
We are on, from there, you can find links to all of our social media. We're technically on 5 different places in the social media world. What are they?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and TikTok.
Love it. Also on the website, you will find connections to all of our show notes. So if I mentioned like, oh, it's in the show notes, you can go there, click on episode guide and see all the show notes. And Ruthie has entered the room. Hi, Ruth. Also, we would love for you to tell us your confessionals. They're completely anonymous. We will not reveal your name or anything like that. There are 3 different ways that you can share your confessional with us. The first is an email address, Pam. What is it?
WeddingConfessionals@gmail.com.
There is a phone number where you can leave a voicemail, and we will transcribe the voicemail. You'll never use your voice. It's a phone number that Pam sometimes struggles to get correctly. I imagine at this point the listeners at home have it memorized, and I think it's fun that you were the only one in the team.
It's true.
I'm sorry, the door's open now. The cat's on the table.
Hi, Annie.
I bet even Annie knows this telephone number. Pammy, what's the telephone number?
434
Yeah.
933 2663.
Yes! Annie is your good luck charm.
Do I win a prize?
You and this cat. You can take this cat home with you. She drives me nuts. Also, you can send us your confessional on our website. You click on a tab that says,
Tell us your secret.
yes. From there, there's a little form. You put a name, whatever name you want.
Tiny. Yeah.
And then a little box where you write in your drama,
Let us know what's on your mind.
questions.
Questions, rants, whatever.
Yes,
Let us have
know. Yes. Also, if you're on Apple Podcast or if you're not on Apple Podcast, go over to Apple Podcast and where they say stars, how many stars you put in there, Pam?
5.
5 stars.
5 stars.
Give us a
It's
fun
the best.
review. Yeah, help us out. It's the way that we move up in their algorithm so that more people can find our podcast. Think of all the brides and grooms out there struggling. They need to find
know.
us.
They do.
We're here to entertain them.
Help them.
Remember who you were before you found our podcast? Think of that person and do it for them. Oh, the cat's back in here. This cat is relentless. Okay, here we go. Besides Apple Podcasts, you can find us. Okay, Pam, I'm going to do just 3 that begin with the letter A. What are they? Other places you can find our podcast.
Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
Amazon.
Yes.
And Audible.
Yes. Can you get 2 of the C's? They start with a C.
I know Castbox.
Yes.
Can't think of the other C. Hints.
Cuba.
Cuba.
Castro.
Oh, geez, Louise.
Also, Deezer, Downcast, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Overcast, Listen Notes, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Pod Paradise, Podtail, Podcast Addict, Podcast Land, Podcast Republic, Radio Public, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, and YouTube. I can't believe I did that without stopping because Tristan came in and out of the room and grabbed both the cat and the dog. Thank you, honey. I love you. Also, you can use your lovely voice and say, play the Wedding Confessionals podcast using what 2 services?
Either Alexa or Siri.
Yeah, you did it, girl. You got the phone number?
I can't believe
I wish
it.
I'd had like confetti ready to pop out.
I was waiting for it.
2022 is your year. It's the year of the Pam. Okay, so we will see you guys next week for part 2,
Woohoo.
Confessionals
Yes.
with AnnaDee. Okay, I'll see you next. Bye.
Bye. Special thanks to Andy Schreier for our adorable theme song,
And David Kantrowitz for our fantastic logo.
and Ramsey Millette and Brian Maylard for their technical support.
If you want to learn more about our show, where you got to go, Pam?
Check out our website, weddingconfessionals.com.
That's it, girl. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.